Hey guys, Craig McCormick here from DestructivePixels.com, and today I'm going to share with you 5 tips to help me not stress out and have a productive time when I go out to shoot landscapes. So before I get started here, I just want to say that these are the tips that have helped me not stress out when I go out and shoot my landscapes. But if you watch this video and you have an idea or a tip or a technique or an idea that you use to help yourself not stress out and you don't see it in this video, put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what it is. So this first one is a really big key idea, and it's to do as much research as possible about the location before you even get there to mitigate any problems that you might find when you arrive. So look online to see if anybody has shared their experiences of going to a specific location, whether it's in blog posts or in the image descriptions on 500px and Flickr, because oftentimes I find really good information in those image descriptions. So that's actually why I make a point of putting them in myself as well in the image description. So if someone wants to go to a specific location I've gone to, they kind of get a bit of a backstory as well. So definitely look online to see if you can find out as much information as possible from people who have already shot there. Another idea is to actually go onto Google Street View if you can for these locations, because oftentimes I do actually do this sometimes, where you can then go on Google Street View and you can get an idea of what the location looks like, whether it's the car park or something, and I'll talk about that in a second. But if you know what the car park looks like, you then have a visual reference for when you're driving to the location. So you're already kind of looking for a scene that you've already seen before in your head. So you're already looking for that specific spot. Words are difficult. So you're looking for that specific spot, and then when you see it, you go, I know that's the place I want to go to. And I mentioned parking earlier. This is something you really should be looking at, especially if you're going to be driving to those locations. So is there a car park? Is there any parking? If so, is it free? Do you have to pay for it? Is there a time restriction? Because quite a few car parks nowadays are time restricted. You can only be there for a certain amount of hours. So this all kind of comes into planning ahead, so you know how long you need to be parked there for, how many spaces are in the car park as well, because sometimes there'll be peak times and peak periods, so where there is just no spaces in the car park. So definitely look, is there any car park or any parking areas near the location you want to go shoot? And it's also a good idea to think about where the light is coming from. I've covered apps before where it actually really helps you dial in where is the light coming from, when is the sunrise and sunset. So I'll put a little suggestion thing up here in the video and also in the description down below to go check out a couple of apps that will really help you out find all this information of where the sun's coming from, what the sunrise and sunset times are, all that jazz. The second tip here is to learn from my mistake and to make sure that you get there much earlier than you ever need to, because I have made this mistake so many times. So if you plan on getting to a location at say like 6 a.m. for example, actually aim to get there for about 5, because you never know what problems you're going to run into, and by going like an hour ahead, you mitigate a lot of these problems. So say you hit traffic or bad weather, or you forget something, because I've done that. I've forgotten stuff before and I've had to go all the way back and then go to the location again, and you've already lost a lot of time. So by doing this and making sure that you're there way earlier in advance, it mitigates a lot of these problems, and it stops you from having to rush to the location and possibly even missing that great light. And that's the last thing you want to do, is to have to wake up at really early in the morning to then have and miss that light. So make sure you get there much earlier than you really need to. This third tip is a really obvious one, but save yourself the hassle in the morning of rushing to make sure you have all your gear. Have everything prepared the night before. So all you need to do is grab and go. So that's things like make sure your batteries are fully charged, your cards are formatted, all your gear is cleaned and ready to go. You have all the accessories that you're gonna need as well. Make sure it's all ready just in your bag, so when you get up in the morning, you don't need to think about, oh, I actually need to pack my bag, I forgot to put this in it. Make sure everything is there the night before so you can just jump out onto the road. Some of my favorite shots have actually been taken on a location in the surrounding area of the original place that I wanted to shoot. So my tip here is to make sure that you go and explore the location that you're in to see if you can find any other interesting shots. You'd be surprised how often you can find new and interesting locations that other people have kind of overlooked because they're so focused on getting the shot from that specific location that you can actually find some really good images from places like the surrounding area. So say there's a big waterfall or something like that, and people mostly go to shoot that. Look for the rivers and stuff like that that are afterwards, after the waterfall. See if you can go to all these different little areas that people often just overlook. Simply, they overlook because they're so focused on going to the one specific spot. You don't always find something interesting, but it's a good practice and a good habit to get into, because sometimes the best shots that you'll find will be from those explorations. I've had this before where I've gone to a specific location to get a shot, and then I have found a even better shot, and I can tell you from experience that is the best feeling ever. So the last and most important tip of all of this is to remember to have fun. So if you don't get a shot, remember it is okay. Sometimes the weather just doesn't work out for you. The weather is a fickle beast. She is mean. Sometimes she just doesn't care how much pleading and begging you make for a good sunrise or sunset. You have very little control about that, especially when it comes to landscape photography. So remember to not freak out too much if you do have bad weather. I've had it before. You just have to live with it. You have to roll with the punches sometimes. Sometimes you get great weather, sometimes you don't, but you always have to remember to have fun. That is the most important thing. Remember, we're shooting pictures. It's nothing serious, it's nothing life-threatening. It's a fun thing to do. So remember to not take this too seriously and to just have fun. So those are my 5 tips to help you not stress out at your next landscape shoot. A lot of these tips and ideas can be related to all different sorts of photography. So again, if you have a tip or a technique or an idea that you've used to help you not stress out and have a really fun time when you go out and shoot images, whether it's portraits, landscapes, or whatever, share them in the comments below. I love to hear what they are so we can all learn together what are the things that have helped you not stress out when you go out and shoot. And if this is your first time here, I'd love to have you subscribe. I do weekly photography videos where I share with you the tools and techniques that I have learned, and I share them with you so you can shoot better images faster. I also have a special video series of vlogs where I take a little video camera along with me when I go out and shoot my images. I bring you along for the entire process from start to finish. So you'll see me going to the location, getting there, setting up my shot, finding the composition. I share with you all the settings and all that kind of jazz. People really seem to love them, and I enjoy doing them too. So if that sounds like something you would be interested in watching, you can click wherever I've put the annotation, or you can go out and check the description text below where you can go to the playlist and watch my latest video there. And if you want to learn more about me and my work, you can go to destructivepixels.com. Thank you very much for watching this video. I've been Craig McCormick, and I'll catch you in the next one.